Life and make you nervous.
Put you in cage where the bird is.
You don't want to be feeling like nervous.
You don't want to be nervous, knowing we lurking.
Knowing it ain't working. So knowing what your worth is, what your worth is. Tell them all you put in the work in for your worth is. While you coming together just like it's churches. I'ma eat the chicken. Earn this, even if I gotta do it what concern is. Put my ashes in the CERN, please. Hallelujah, like discern when you earn these. Coming in like burn weeds. Burning like it's burnt weeds, please. Miss me with excuses. All I know is I gotta get it, I gotta do this. It's cost me everything, money more times than one, My house, my love, my wife and children, and my son, Try following people, try to having the people following you just to take your head. Just like the Greeks when they taking off your head. Queen Elizabeth, I'm coming for your head. Poverty's obstruction. For the people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge and how to use it. This is obstruction of justice. Do it cause I got the juice with it. Tupac, but no movie flow. Life is like a free throw. Throw it in, swish bow. That's a smorgasbord. But they wanna play with emojis and do it like it's You think you know me, but you don't know me. You say you love me, but you won't show me. You willing to be persecuted for what you think you believe? You willing to challenge everything that you think you believe to its root and try just like y'all say to do until you done it. How do you know you truly believe? Do you know that you do not know? Or do you know that you do know? And when you do know, how confident are you in what you do know? Is it in you or in who you know and who knows you? Keep a note too. Mental note for myself. Sometimes you can hear another voice talking to you through your own voice. Listen to the truth. I don't look for competition. I ain't trying to be better than nobody. Maybe that's why I stick out like a sore thumb, and anybody that like me too. We all wonder where we come from. I'm just messing around with shit, trying to. But you be doing good, bro.
Dad, who buy this?
So, little sis gave y'all that.
I'll be smoking.
So, when you see her again,
I'll be smoking.
tomorrow she gave it to you.
You don't know the
What'd you say about chicken wings and kush? Hey, say what you said and you said about the kush. That was funny.
Oh, I said, I'm just smoking chicken wings.
We ain't gotta pop no perk to get jiggy. We ain't gotta smoke no weed.
You know we all look like hillbillies, right?
I had my homie the llama and he'll come get it like your name was Diddy. Leave you in the Pampers looking pissy.
Hey, we got a
Pampers
juice.
looking
I know.
pissy. Told them,
Take it that way.
I know you did. 3 strikes and you're out. I am on another planet, sipping purple motion, riding waves just like the ocean. No, I'm the chosen one. I'm smoking on the chosen sun, and under the sun, I'm a bastard, but I'm the holy one. If you don't want this flow to exit your mouth just like the Holy Ghost, then I recommend you vacate the premises.
That's their premises. Tell them. Finishing the sentences. Now that's in sync. No band boy. You make them think. Turn the water on and let it flow down the drain. Can't you see why the crows upon the beat? I ain't talking Shel Silverstein, but poetry it live in me. Speaking life, that's that life tree. Rooted in that water, Yahusha, the one who ignite me. Cause sometimes I don't know what to say and I don't know what to do and what's the way, but I'ma come through anyway and show the way that Yahweh is the way and just behave. Persecuted or not, I'm about that business. Everything that look like a loss is an opportunity to show them how to really do business. I wonder how many people, parents, children know how to camp nowadays.
Not many.
Instead of looking at stuff like a bad thing, like, oh, you just homeless. No, if you look at the word home, I'm homeless. Question is, where is my home? Because you could be in a home and feel like you don't got no home. Relationships, all types of stuff. But it's a perfect atmosphere for going back into the ancient days where the nomads moved around the lands. You know what I'm saying? Without bills of ordinances and all these rules and stuff like that. Man-made cities and states. It talks about that in the Bible. You know what I'm saying? All over in the Old Testament, the Torah. You know what I'm saying? So they put the regulations on that stuff. But when Yah gave a specific land to his specific chosen people, meaning those that he picked out of many generations, you know what I'm saying? Those who are willing to believe out of the Gentile nations. So this is where you get the no longer black lives and white lives matter, like all life matter when it comes to that, because this is a demonstration of Yah inserting himself among all the nations, that all who will believe in him, you know what I'm saying, be willing to do his will. Like, we get to do stuff that other people have dreamed about doing. They committed suicide before they did it, you know what I'm saying, or somebody bullied them and let them talk down on them so much they lost hope in themselves. We've all gone through that in different ways. You know what I'm saying? I've been through that where I done held guns to my head and stuff like that. I'm like, y'all, you choose. Because I didn't know my self-worth. I deemed my self-worth off of another person's opinion. I didn't listen to y'all when he said, you know, why do you allow what other people say about you bother you so much when they don't understand? Or when he says they don't know that they don't know. So sometimes I didn't know that I didn't know. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't mean you're a bad person. It doesn't mean that you defined by somebody else's standards that they have for you that they can't even keep for themselves. You know, to live it out is more than just speaking it. You get to practice all these things. Paul built tents. Shaul, you know, they don't talk about that. All they want to talk about is prosperity, but you got to ask the question, how did Paul get to that point of building tents? It's a place of entrepreneurship where he wasn't under the jurisdiction of anyone else or a corporation. Just same thing with Matthew. He was a tax collector like the tax collectors today. It's no different. It's the same people. It's the same things. They just change names and colors and places. They still doing the same robbery, the same, you know what I'm saying, everything that Yah said that he would send them against his people for not serving him or obeying him, because his way deleted servitude, it deleted captivity. And those who would try to captivate his people, you know what I'm saying, without his people being disobedient and forsaking him, there wouldn't have been no captivity. He desired to dwell among his creation. That's why he created us in his image and likeness, which means if you take the limits off your mind, I call it the statute of limitations, but keep Yah as the forefront and the foundation. Because this, you will do things that people say you can only have money to do stuff like that. You'll have experiences that other people have desired for, but don't ever compete with another man's mission because you don't know what he went through to get there. So don't be sitting there trying to hate him for what he got. You know what I'm saying? Although, hate what is evil and love what is good, but know the difference between the two. You know what I'm saying? My children will grow up where they won't have to be afraid of one color of people or their own color of people, because black people sit there and betray each other a lot too. A lot of y'all are Judases. I've been there before. I've done it. You know what I'm saying? Only difference is I don't hide in secret the stuff that I've done, because I can relate to everybody. You know what I'm saying? I never say I'm greater than anybody, but if you choose to do different, then you're doing better than somebody because you're choosing to do different. But don't judge another man's course unless you go through what he's going through, because you judged too soon. Judge nothing before it's time, as my elder would say. And I get more wisdom every day. You know, people get persecuted just for being alive. Bro here, he get persecuted, you know what I'm saying, just for being alive, literally. Bro, you know what I'm saying, he go through stuff too. But one thing, even Mikey, like one thing that we all got in common is at times we've had different worldviews, and would you all agree that we're getting closer to like the same view of everything that's going on? Bro, do you read the Bible? How long you been studying in the Bible on top of everything else to see the connections?
Quite a few times.
So if you had anything truly, like honestly, that you would disagree with me about anything I've talked about and including the Bible, what would it be?
One thing I would disagree with the Bible with is how it's worded.
Say it again.
It's how it's worded.
How it's worded? I can agree. There's been a lot of inserts. The Council of Nicaea, the Nicolaitans, which in the words Yah says he hates the works of the Nicolaitans. Constantine and Bishop Ignatius. So it's a lot of wording. You know that. Yeah, I agree. So this is why we need Yah by His Spirit. Like bro was talking about. Was it Job or Joel? Job. You know what I'm saying? Like Joel lived there and he literally sat there and challenged Yah. Like he's, you know what I'm saying? Like he cursed the day he was born, and Y'all was like, stand up on your feet like a man and pull up your pants. Like, where was you at? You know what I'm saying? When I formed the heavens and the earth, the foundations, like you gonna sit there and curse the day you was born, and you don't even know what your purpose of being here is. You know what I'm saying? But we're taught to live and think like this in the system, the world, the way of man. That's why he said there's a way that seems right, but the ends thereof is death. You know what I'm saying? Like Jesus, Yahusha, and Jesus in English language, Yahusha in Aramaic. You know what I'm saying? Yeshua, all the different connections to the different tongues. Allah is the same person if you serve in the same truth. You know what I'm saying? Like, he came to set his people free, to set all creation free. All creation is waiting for the manifestations of the sons of Yah. Sometimes it takes boldness to be you. You know what I'm saying? It shows how human or how connected we really all are. And a lot of us, we don't think like that. A lot of us don't have the capacity to think like that. A lot of us don't want to think like that. A lot of us choose not to think like that, or have been through certain types of persecutions where they're almost afraid to do it again, or we'll go so far, straddle the fence. We've all done it. You know what I'm saying? I am Chief.
The only thing I have to say about the Bible is literally this song. It's fire.
So would you say the Bible's more than a book?
It's the blueprint.
Blueprint of life?
See, it's like.
Yeah, can you turn it down just a little bit? I don't want it to bring them out. Just a little bit.
So, one thing I would have to say about the Bible, it's like, I think about it as almost like a necromancing book, but it just has unlimited power to it in a way. But it's just like, you know, you open up the book and it's just like, one, it's gonna tell you the past, future, and present. It's gonna tell you how certain events are gonna happen in order. It's gonna tell you, you know, you should do this in this way. If you don't do it in this way, you won't be able to make it.
Do you agree with that way? Like, can you see some of the differences of why to agree or not to agree?
Because, yeah, well, it's obviously clear in it. Because people, when they look at it, they'll be like, oh, it just says don't do this, do this, do this. Okay, but think about it. Certain things in there, yeah, you can obviously understand that. But what it's really, you gotta get, you know, as you say, dig deeper into it, you know, what that meaning actually is. Because I know it's changed a few times. It's gone from don't steal from someone, you know, don't kill people, you know, certain things like that or whatever. But they'll be like, oh, don't do that. But then when they apply that to themselves in a real life situation, they'll be like, oh, someone's has a gun and shit to me. I'm not gonna kill him. But my thing is, it depends on how the whole situation betrays out, honestly, because you also got to think about it. In the book, it also mentions that God is in control, pretty much. You know.
What's God's name, if you don't mind me asking?
Yahusha.
There you go.
But if you wanted you or that other person dead, he would know that he would make it happen. I can't say he would know it would happen. He would make it happen. You know, he pretty much planned all that, what's happening, you know, pretty much everything. He's planning literally your next breath, like almost every
Bro,
second.
how old are you?
16
Hey, you 16-year-olds and all that. Look, continue. That's dope fresh.
But it's just like you know, another way you could put it, like a guidebook in a way, except it's just like this book is just like
Y'all see the sun shining behind
it'll
you?
tell you. It's just like, you know, do this in certain ways, do this and this. One, not only are you gonna get what you want in life, but two, it's just, well, not just you, everyone else around you, you know, stuff like that, you know, everything will be balanced out. But then when you have all these other things, because it's like, I know one thing I've noticed when it came to people so-called magic, right? But the thing is, when you use too much of that type of entity, that type of power, it starts causing chaos in the world, like eruptions, changes atmospheres, It's just like, okay, we're gonna have, like, out of nowhere, you're just gonna have the atmosphere switch in certain places, certain areas. That's why I'll be like, oh, look it, last night we've had, I don't know, this many shootings. Like, recently, we just got done having 9 people be shot. It's no coincidence that,
How was they shot, if you don't mind me asking?
I guess it was a drive-by. Like I said, if you wanted to have, like that one I showed you on the news, it was a toddler, 5 juveniles, and the rest were adults.
Right.
Now, like we said, if God wanted it to happen, He'll make it happen. And I guess it was a drive-by at a family thing or whatever, and got open fired on. You know, that's why that, or, you know, all this negative shit going on, you know, that people cause, or, you know, all the entities and unnecessary shit that they mess with, all the power that they're trying to control, change, shit like that. It's gonna causes, you know, I'm just gonna say,
In equilibrium. I just made that one up. Unequilibrium.
it's kind of like an unequal equilibrium.
Yeah,
But,
unbalanced,
if you
no
think
balance.
about it, unbalanced equilibrium, but at the same time, it's the negative, I should say, atmosphere that just changed around, you know. No one's gonna notice that. It's just gonna happen within a split second. It's just gonna happen.
Okay, pause real quick, excuse me. Between you two, I call him Hushbone. You call him what he wants you to call you. Or you to call him. This, you can state your name, gangster. You with the dab pen, state your name, gangster.
Russian blue.
State your name, gangster.
No idea.
Hey,
You don't know what your name
it is what it is.
Oh.
Everyone's
Well,
got a
never mind.
code.
His name is I don't know.
Yeah, his name is I have no idea.
So-
his name is
Yeah, I have no idea.
Talking on the
That's
environments,
a shout that'll pop up.
explain or enlighten, if you will. Enlighten in a biochemistry way. Okay, you know where I'm going with this. The connection between the endocannabinoid system, okay, the nervous system, and the way of people's thinking of what life and value of their worth is between you two. Like a dialogue, as you're like speaking to the people though, because both of you got a part to say in it, because you smoke, and I smoke.
Wait, do you want like us to do an individual?
No. You like
individually explain it.
like how we
or-
talking. Yeah, give your part. Let him go first, and then give your part again,
Okay.
and then Mike, if you want to put it in, I'm gonna call him Mike because he said his name is no name, so I'm gonna
No,
give him a
he said
name.
His name is I have no idea.
Well, I'm gonna give him the Mike. You know, he'll give you his real name whenever he chooses to, but I'm gonna give him Mike. Can I give you the name Mike for right now? And then whenever you choose to
got that, Mike?
disclose your secret identity, then we'll say your name. Okay. So, yeah. So that's
What
what
was
we
the question again?
enlighten the people, enlighten and changing the atmosphere or environment, and speaking from a biochemistry point of view, and the connection between the endocannabinoid system and the nervous system, and our way of life as people, and what we think is worth, value, and the virtue of life between each other, whatever it is.
That's scientific.
Because, you know, essentially, yeah, I'll explain afterwards, or enlighten afterwards.
I guess the first thing that comes. I don't know if I really understand the question.
So biochemistry is okay. I guess it's on you, bro, and you'll get it from
Okay,
him.
so pretty much
I'll go last.
another thing he's trying to explain is that biochemistry way, which is that how pretty much our bodies are naturally are from birth till whenever, and the shit that happens, you know, if someone wants to mention like, oh, you know, it feels weird outside, shit like that, like, yeah, you know, they semi-feel that, but they don't feel it that much because their body's automatically, I should say naturally, blocking that out, you know, like a firewall on a computer, you know, something tried to get in, it's not
That's
gonna
an
get
interesting
in.
analogy. Perfect
So,
parable.
with certain things that are natural here to the earth can change the body, you know, in a way, but also it's changing in an unpredicted way. That's why, you know, when you, for example, acid, do you know where it comes from? Where?
What do you mean where? Like,
Acid.
how it was created?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, by Dr. Robert Hoffman.
No, like where does it come from?
Mm.
You don't know?
Yeah, I created it.
It comes from a fungus, which comes from rice seeds. Now, if you think about it, now, it's obviously not just to the earth. People think, oh, it's illegal or an illegal chemical, because only thing you're pretty much doing
Can I sit there and you
is
sit there?
extracting the chemical out of it
I don't need to do
on
that.
something else, aka vapor.
Is that your drink?
Mm-mm.
So,
Whose is it?
if you think about
One
it,
of the children's.
Who?
the way
One of the
it's
children's.
programmed in a way, if you think about it, acid in a way is almost to make. I'm gonna go ahead
Does that
and
hurt
say
your back too?
change the way your body precipitates and your mind precipitates things in a way where it purposely induces you into your fear to, one, not just overcome it, but two, afterwards, you know, you have a better understanding of it or something else or multiple things, because that's why, you know, usually when people take it or whatever, because I haven't taken it in a while, like what, 2 years? No, longer than 2 years, a bit longer. But that's why when they usually take it, they say they start to feel smart at some points in it, is because it's also scientifically shown for shrooms too, this, which is that while, you know, you're starting to come up and everything, usually your brain, how it works is one part works with another part, that works with another part, that works with another part, right? Now when people are starting to come up on it, you know, their brain activity, which is usually a 10%, right? On weed, it's shown to go up to 15%. On acid and shrooms, you know, a few other things, pretty much psychedelics in general, but it's showing that your brain pretty much, it doesn't work individually with each other, it works all together. But not just that, it increases your brain activity. But here's the funny thing, because, what do you call it? It's shown at the highest ever recorded for this shit, for brain activity, is
Where are the kids?
85% brain activity.
Pause. Excuse me. Can you expound on that just a little bit deeper? Like you're with the acid, and you're talking about the endocannabinoid with hemp and CBD oil as well, correct?
Pretty much anything marijuana based, yes, because if you think about it, you take this, your brain activity goes up 5%.
Mm-hmm.
Marijuana technically is like the key to, you know, pretty much more of a brain activity. And then, let's say, what do you call it? After a while, you take shrooms or acid, whatever. Not only is your brain activity going to be about like a 90 or whatever, but, you know, the way how it's going to end up working is that mostly it's all body senses and everything when you're on stuff like that. So that's why it's like when they're on it, they want to be somewhere where there's less people or people where they're comfortable with. They usually don't like to go out in public, you know, a few things like that. So it's all pretty much body senses and all of that, and plus you're dealing with fungus and fungi, which is what do you call it? Both of them are the same thing pretty much. And then weed, on the other hand, when it comes to the endocannabinoid system, it's
Endocannabinoid.
it's pretty much another part of your nervous system, but the thing is, when you're on this, it would be like it's unlocking or kind of feeling or controlling your nervous system a lot more when you're on that. So then once you're on something else too, like LSD
feel like I'm in a
or
classroom.
shrooms or whatever, you know, I'll just say that's just a combination.
Excuse me, pause me. Pause me. Right, pause. Can I add a little piece to that?
Yeah.
And bro, I need you if you know if you're comfortable with it, you don't have to do it right away.
No, I have a lot I want to say.
Because this is Ambassadors Inc. school as well. You know what I'm saying? Bro and I known each other over a year and a half now. Bro just came in a couple months ago, but you know what I'm saying? We the revolution. We are the true definition of the New World Order. If you're gonna be a Mason, Freemasons, if you're gonna be a builder, you need the cornerstones and the true foundation. Because all you have is poles like pillars in the top, and even Samson through the spirit of Yah tore it down. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna tear down and cast down every wicked imagination and every high thought that exalts itself against or above the knowledge of Yah. Because ain't no weapon formed against us prospers. And Yah said, "Behold, I give unto you power to tread upon serpents and scorpions and over all the power of the enemy, and no thing will by any means hurt you." If I was to think about a church in the endocannabinoid or biochemistry in a way of life, I would look at it like this: without that main source of light, right? There's no life. Without light, you have no darkness. Okay? Without darkness, you have no light, unless they're just darkness and light by themselves. Okay? So if you could see it like that, you could see that Yah is Yah by himself. Yahusha is El Yahuwah or Allah by himself. You know what I'm saying? Because you say something in a different language doesn't mean that you have to be enemies. This is the biochemistry of social economics. I call it my Echo Bombill's theorem. Why? Because it's like a Rick and Morty situation. You know what I'm saying? You have all these battles of science and wits and, mathematics. But mathematics is Yah's language. He created all things for good. Originally intention, was the original intention. But when you have another source that doesn't like life or hates life because something's younger than it has to obey, right? Like Yah will turn the elder to the younger. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the elder will have to yield to his wisdom through the younger. You know what I'm saying? Because we walk in an ancient path. So if I were to say like an assembly, forsake not the assembling one another together. That's what Yah said. He ain't say forsake not the churching of one another together. You know what I'm saying? It's not to say that they bad people. It's just my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. That's what Yah says, and I agree with that because I see the acidity of the inflammations, you know what I'm saying, through the unnecessary amounts of mucus going into the body. And if I don't have the proper lipid system to help flush out my kidneys, flush out my digestive system and stuff like that, part of my body or part of my unit is missing. You know what I'm saying? This is what it means to have a uniform commercial code, if you will. It's the uniform design of the way of life and the truth of the way of life. You know what I'm saying? To take what is dead and then use it as death and debt, it only produces death. Death only produces death. You have to have something that is deemed dead, like the legalese of a straw man illusion, to use something that's dead to use it for something that causes or brings more life. Like if I'm feeling like, you know what I'm saying, I felt like giving up, stopping, you know what I'm saying, like what's the point? Because I'm working hard to get whatever's needed where I can as one person, and then I lose it. You know what I'm saying? What's the point to keep getting it? But it's not about that. It's about the intention behind it and how far you go with those potentials to do good and to, you know what I'm saying, knowing that the only good that exists is Yah. And if Yah says that you are good, then don't let anyone else, do not allow them or permit them to say any different. So that's my piece on it for the biochemistry relation with our way of life. That was perfectly spoke. That was deep. That's why I had to raise I wasn't even thinking, I just rose my hand, that's dope.
You were just like, wait, what the fuck? We're
Bro,
getting
can I
on
light this up?
biochemistry and shit.
Just not let you be judged, and whatever measure you meet, it'll be measured to you again. Don't be hating people and titling and labeling people off of what they do, because you don't know what Yah's doing all the time in the midst of it. And I did that a lot to people. I judged people, you know what I'm saying? I used to use the Bible over their head, and until Yah teach me, it's the intentions of the heart he look at. You know what I'm saying? Some of the stuff we have to grow out of because this is all we know. So we have to unlearn what we think we knew. You know what I'm saying? Like take the limits off really and watch the wonders of Yah. The wonders of Yah ain't just all the stuff that you see of the signs and different stuff. Sometimes it's a work that he's doing in you, and he'll sit back and show you how beautiful or how amazing he created you. You know what I'm saying? Forget what everybody else is saying about you. Do you love you? You can't love your neighbor if you don't love yourself. That's Yah's rule. You know what I'm saying? That's the law of the land. That's the law of the jungle. Not. Think about it. Caesar, right? Go to the river. When the first fish that come up, grab the coins out of his mouth. Put it in for you and me. Whose inscription is on the coin, right? Because they ask, the Pharisees, is this lawful for the disciples for us to pay tax? Look, render unto Caesar the things that are Caesar's, unto Yah, Allah, you know what I'm saying, Yahuwah, Yahusha, unto him. That means the only thing Caesar owns is his coin with his inscription on it, his dead works, his debt and death, his own illnesses, his own diseases in life. When it talks about he healed their diseases, you know what I'm saying, he healed our sicknesses and infirmities. Disease means a lack of peace. My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge, knowing how the peace is connected to the knowledge and how to apply the practicalities behind the principal thing, which is wisdom, which is a growing thing. A seed is never comfortable growing from up the ground. Look at all the conditions and season it has to go through, the weathering and all that type of stuff. It's just the same thing with the court system. We are the court, we are the jury. When Yah sends his prophets or his judges, that's because he is the judge that's prophesying through them as the spirit of prophecy to speak to the world, because we are his hands and feet in the earth. He directly works and intertwines with his own creation. His word is his bond. You get it? So we talk about stocks and bonds and the legalese of straw man illusion and sharecropping. The only owners that have right to all creation is Yah's people, and are you his people is the question. The descriptions is by your spirit and by his word. I'm still growing, I'm still learning. This bro's turn though.
I guess all I really was thinking about while he was talking was about like epigenetics.
Say that again?
Epigenetics.
I ain't heard that in a minute.
Genetics. I guess it's the idea that your environment has to do with the way that your genes and the way that your body biologically programs itself. And I guess the word environment can be used loosely because that could be internal environments.
Like a product of our environment?
Conditions that you create for yourself. So you're a marijuana smoker, you consume THC, cannabinoids, that sort of thing, or
Right.
whatever else you do. An internal environment, or the food that you eat, a lot of mucus and that. And there's a lot of things, but then also externals, the electricity, what kind of vibrations and energies are in the air that are influencing me on a biological level, because it's not always conscious. When I walk outside, like you said, the body can only handle so much stimuli. We were blessed with such a brain that it wants to go a million different places at once. So you wake up in the morning and you've already generated blockers and firewalls of what you don't want to see. That's why some people are sensitive to certain things, like they can see entities, energies. They just
Epigenetic
they didn't bring their blockers
process.
out today, and there are certain things
Quantum
we've been
physics
put in a
computing.
system, in a maze, in which we're set to fail. Like you said, we're seeds, like in a legal system. Imagine what a seed has to go through. It gets thrown in the dirt, covered in the dark dirt. It gets rained on. It's cold. It's wet. Doesn't
Hallelujah.
see
This
no
is a
light.
dope session.
And then, eventually over
Oh,
time,
man.
it finally sprouts and it gets the sunlight. And, even over more time, it grows beyond that. But it still has to go through that section.